Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you a series of exercises and tips in how you can improve your hip mobility. If you're suffering back pain or hip pain or even knee pain, improving your hip mobility can improve your symptoms. If you've never been in this channel, my name is Bob, I'm a physical therapist, and the purpose of this channel is to help people like yourself with the simple tips and exercises to recover from their injury. Make sure to like, share and subscribe our channel. Alright guys, before I start this routine, I would like to share with you, you might have a different type of mobility and range of motion in comparison to other people. That's why don't compare yourself with me or anybody else. Start with your own range of movements and slowly build up. The first movement that I'm going to show you guys, it's going to be a hip 90-90 internal external rotation, which means we're trying to get to internal and external rotation in both sides. As you can see, I'm not trying to hold it for too long. You're trying to create the movement, and obviously with that movement you get a bit of stretch and mobility around your hip. You can stay on those areas that you feel more stretch or discomfort, stay there a little bit longer. I feel on my left side more, stay there. If I want to make it a little bit challenging, I can take my hands off the ground, hold it there 5-10 seconds, and if you can see, if I take my hands off, it would be very difficult for me. I try to use it to get that movement. I'm going to show you from a different angle. See, from here you can keep your foot around, let's say 90 degrees. I get a crack on my back, hold it there, and if I go more forward it becomes more challenging. If I lean more back, it's a bit easier. Work around your own range and practice this move. You can practice this exercise for, let's say, 2 to 3 minutes. There's no counts, you can play around with it, work around your own range and challenge yourself gradually. Make sure that you're breathing through this exercise and you're not holding your breath. I'm going to move on to a butterfly stretch, which is literally we're trying to stretch the inner thighs, and as you can see, I'm holding my basically foot, and everybody, as I mentioned earlier, might have a different level. If your hip are staying up, that means you're tighter on your adductors muscles and your hip, and what we're trying to do, we're trying to literally keep these as close as possible. If it's there, that's fine guys, just try to basically play around with it. We're trying to apply a bit of pressure at the end, hold it there for 10-15 seconds with your elbows and relax. Now, to make this a little bit challenging guys, I would suggest my patient in the clinic to start this stretch with apply a little bit of isometric contraction of your thighs, hold it there and basically apply pressure with your elbows and your thighs for 5 seconds. Hold it there for 5 seconds, 3, 2 and relax. Take a deep breath in and breathe out, and now you can push it down with the elbows. 5, 4, 3, 2 and relax. Now play around with it again. You can try that basically isometric contraction for a couple of rounds. I'm just going to bring my foot to the position that I feel the first kind of feeling of stretch, and I apply, resist my knee, hold it there for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2 and relax. I take a deep breath in and breathe out and push it down. You can hold it as long as 15 to 20 seconds. As you practice this more, you can see that your foot get closer to your body. Try this for, again, 2 to 3 basically minutes, and try to make sure that you're relaxed, you're not tensing your body. We're gonna move on to a side lunge movement and stretch, which is usually I find it very difficult for everybody. I struggle with it, And what I'm trying to do today for you guys is to show you how you can simplify it and slowly build it up to a movement. We're gonna start with static stretch, which is like literally you're trying to keep your foot double shoulder apart. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to simply sit in each side. You don't want to hold it initially for too long. You want to just create that movement. Again, try to go as far as you feel comfortable. If you want to stay longer, you can sit there. Make sure that you're pushing the hip back. I'm going to show you from different angles as well to get this right. Keep the back nice and tall. You want to feel the pressure on the side of the hip. Now, let me show you from the different angle. Now, to show you from this angle, feet double shoulder apart. As you can see, I'm pushing the hip back. Keep the back nice and tall. And other side. Sometimes if you can want to manage your balance, holding it like anywhere, your seat or something like that can be good. All right, practice that, guys. Play around with it. You will see a huge stretch on the inner thigh, and I'm going to show you how to progress it now. Initially, guys, you can use something like a chair to give you a bit of balance as well, or anything else that you have at home. This is pretty straightforward. You can actually make sure that you're not going to fall. Minimize any sort of imbalance. Simplify. All right, I'm going to show you now how to challenge yourself. If you have a small stool like that, what you could do, you could basically try to see if I can actually get more range. How can you do that? Which means you're trying to go all the way down and sit on that and come back up. All the way down and sit on that and come back up. Slow down, sit on that. Work around your own speed, guys. You don't need to challenge that quick. Slow and come back up. This gives you a bit of stability, like you do know that you're gonna go and sit somewhere, and whenever you try, let's say 3, 4, you can change side, try it from the other side, and you would be surprised. It's a really good move. You can sit down, so you have less mobility on this side, but no doubt. Slow down, come back up. Slow down and come back up. Now, how many times around you can practice this, guys? Again, it depends on how much time you have. If you give yourself, let's say 15 to 20 minutes of gap for mobility daily, this can be spent for 2 to 3 minutes on this exercise. I'm going to move on to Pigeon stretch, guys, which is a single leg and hip stretch. It literally can be a little bit challenging for a lot of people to get to that Pigeon stretch and position. I'm going to show you how you can simplify it with some sort of a pillow or something like that, small or big. See what works for you. What you could do, you could basically keep that underneath of your hip, which means what we're trying to do, we're trying to get to that position, all right? And if you're applying a pillow here, it is easier for you to be able to sit on that side. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to get this knee kind of like parallel with the other knee, and you can go down. Now, in most cases, if I don't use that pillow, it would be too much basically level for me to get to the ground, which means I might start from here eventually, and my left foot, I'm trying to avoid rotating it, which means it might rotate that way. I'm trying to keep it straight and sit back on this hip. Keep it there for 10-15 seconds. Breathe in and out, and if you find it's comfortable, you can go down. Now, try to move around with it, which means don't hold it on a tight stretch and feel a lot of pain. You want to leave it in different length and position and let your body to actually give you that chance to relax. Breathing is essential. I'm going to show you from the opposite side. We want you to literally get your knee to kind of like a 90 degrees and you sitting on that. And the other leg is pretty straight. I'm not leaning that side. I'm staying parallel with my body and holding it there. I can feel it definitely on this side more. 10 to 15 seconds. Breathing, keep it on. Come back up. Breathe in and out. I still feel it here. I don't want to keep it in that level too low. And stay there again for 10-15 seconds and play around with it. Now, you might start from this level, guys. Stay there for a couple of rounds and slowly push it down to the elbow. Don't jump to this position because you're definitely going to feel uncomfortable. Now, if I take this pillow off and don't use the pillow, as you can see, I have to go a lot lower to get to the ground, which means there's a huge gap here that I can't actually fill it off with my body. And that means that my mobility is not that great, but with getting that pillow, you can literally slightly minimize that pressure and get it done. Give it a try and let me know how you're getting on. The last move that I'm going to show you guys, it's active hip mobility. Just remember, you can play around this routine in any way that you want to, which means you don't necessarily follow my sequence. You can start with any one that you prefer at the start and slowly build them up. Now, this movement, it's active, which means we don't hold it for stretch, we basically create movement. What we're trying to do, you're gonna be on the quadruped position, which means hands underneath of your shoulder and the knees underneath of your hip. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to create that internal and external rotation with one side. We create this circle with one side, and the bigger, the better. Slow and controlled. Just try to imagine your knee is creating a circle. Now we go anti-clockwise, and I'm trying to minimize my body movement, which means I want my hip actually create that movement as much as I can. And it kind of like challenge your core muscle as well. I'm going to show you from the other leg. Yeah, you feel more coordinated with the dominant side usually. Yeah, make the circle as big as possible. Keep the back stable. We go anti-clockwise. Yeah. No coordination whatsoever. Yep. That's the whole point of doing these exercises, guys. You would be surprised. After finishing this routine, you will see huge difference. Now, I'm going to show you guys from this angle and literally how that should be done. We try to avoid looking down because you tend to. Try to keep the hip and back straight and the neck. Basically, you can challenge it that way. If you go slower, the better. Other direction. Just try to use your knee as a point that create that big circle. Now, one of the most important things that I'll repeat and repeat in every single video, guys, consistency is the key. You're not going to be able to change any movement or pattern in your body with trying it for a week. Practice and get better in it, and slowly then you can challenge yourself and see changes in your back mobility and pain. Now make sure to try this routine once a day, if you have more time, twice a day, for at least 3 to 4 weeks to see changes. All the best. I hope you guys find this video helpful. If you have any question, please leave me a comment underneath of this video, and if you're looking for anything particular in terms of rehab or your injury, leave me a comment and I will be happy to prepare that rehab protocol. If you want to get a maximum result from this routine in terms of your hip mobility and your back pain, make sure to follow this routine consistently, at least 2 times a day for the next 3 to 4 weeks. And after that, I would still suggest my patient to continue this routine every, let's say, second day. Stay tuned and all the best.